lie. And I have been cheated on multiple times in my situation. And I have forgave them because in my mind, I have like a big thing with, I have a big thing with, I believe people is capable of change if they want to change and if they know what it is that they did was wrong and how it affected me or my children. I have
Mhm.
3 kids with this man, and I've been in a 3-year relationship with this man. And sometimes men don't understand that when you cheat or step out on marriage or even a relationship, what damage that does to us as a woman,
Mhm.
as a woman, like it strips us from our confidence, our self-esteem, everything that we felt that we built together, it strips it away. And I feel like it's not the place of a man to even take it away if I worked so hard to build that up for myself.
Yeah.
So I honestly wanted to know, like, how do you move forward? Even though I forgive him, it's always in the back of my mind. It could be him going to the corner store. It could be I don't, it could be something that's going to my family house and I don't want to be a part specifically that day, that I have them thoughts in the back of my mind. Like, could this be going on? Like,
Yeah.
could this still be happening? Because we hold our partners to this high pedestal, to this high standard, because we sometimes see potential in a person more than they may see it in their self at that moment.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I felt like how honestly, how, like, any advice I could get would help. Like, how do you honestly forgive? Not so much forget, but I want to forget the damage that has been done so that we could have a beautiful future.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, I appreciate you for being open and honest about what you're going through. Because, like you said, when people take the filter off of relationships and they really
Yes,
are willing to talk about the issues, that's how
yes,
you're
sir.
willing to overcome it. So
Mhm.
I commend you for doing that. First,
Yes,
I just want to encourage you because I know that you have 3 kids with this person. So
yes,
you're willing to fight. You're willing to try to make your house a home. But it's
yes,
very
sir.
important that we don't marry people based off of potential, but they have to
Okay,
be willing to do the work.
Mhm.
And I
okay.
noticed that you said you've been cheated on multiple times. So my
Yes, three
question
to be
for
exact.
3, my question to you is how many times is too many times? Because if you give somebody the opportunity to rebound and overcome what they went through and they continue to do that, to
Yes,
me,
sir.
that's a sign of disrespect. It is not a sign of somebody really wanting to change. And although you
Yes,
may be trying to get it to work for your kids, you may be hurting your kids more because then you're basically setting the standard of what they should accept as they get older and they get into relationships.
but I also sometimes struggle with. First, they say things aren't easy, right? Things aren't easy. Anything easy aren't worth having. So if you want something, you fight for it. And then on the flip side, I struggle with, like you just said, if you respected me enough. See, first time is like, I believe is a mistake. But the second time becomes a choice. A third time is really something you decided to do, not caring
Mhm.
about my feelings or how it will affect me and our 3 boys. I feel like it's important, the fact that I am a mom of 3 boys and the fact that he is the father. I feel like he should kind of respect himself more, not to be so accessible to women that's only there for bragging rights. It's not to uplift you and better you. See, like you said something that stuck with me. You said not to go off of potential. And that's something that my nana has told me and that I've been battling with, because I kind of like, I always go with the potential. I'm always trying to find something good out of the situation, or I'm trying to, like, when someone hurts me or he does something like that, I always back then used to think like, oh, maybe he was hurt, or maybe it's something that I lacked, or maybe I wasn't doing this right, or maybe I wasn't cooking enough, or maybe I wasn't sucking or doing whatever right. You know what I'm saying? I always try to fault myself and to critique myself to fit his image. because the women that he cheated on me with was a totally different image of myself and what we have built. And I know it's like a lot of my family be like, leave him, leave him, leave him, you know. And I had struggled with that thought, like, what if I get with the next man and he does the same thing? Do I leave him too? Do I bounce from Joe to Joe? Or do I try to hang on just a little bit longer to see if potentially that it will get better? And this past year, I can honestly say I haven't had a woman come to me as a woman, but I have been that woman that's just like second guessing. And they always say if you second guessing, it's probably shouldn't something you do, you know? Like, I want to get to the place where I'm not just smiling to cover up pain and to put on a facade for my family, for his family and our friends and people that's rooting for us. I want to genuinely smile and know that I'm genuinely smiling because I'm genuinely happy. I'm genuinely joyful, something that no one could take away from me. But it feels like sometimes it feels like if you want more and you want different and I'm not the person that you do expect me to be, then be, like you said, be a man, own up to it, and go find the type of woman that you're cheating, the type of women that you're cheating on me with. Go find that person and be with them type of people. Don't hold me hostage, because sometimes these men, it's like it's hard with love, because once we love hard. It's like all in or nothing. Like, I don't know how to have love you, to only sometimes cook for you, to only sometimes clean for you, to only sometimes bring you lunch. Like, I don't know how to do that, because that's not how I was raised. I was definitely raised on, if you're in it and you take a man back, you cannot hold that over his head. Right. You now basically saying that you forgive him and you're moving forward. So if it potentially happens again, you can only blame yourself. And I think that's where I'm stuck at now. It's like this year's been like quiet, but I'm not happy.
How come you can find the good in the man or situation that has done you wrong, but you can't see that same optimism in starting over? Because I noticed you said, do I leave him? But what if another man puts me through the same situation? How come you can see the good and be optimistic about a relationship that has already proven to hurt you in the past, but you can't see the good and the optimism of finding somebody that will treat you and respect you the way that you want to be treated and respect? Because the thing that will hurt you in your relationship is if you're just staying with him because you think you won't find real love if you leave. Because then that's where resentment is built. Because you're not staying there because you actually want to be there. You're staying there because you're scared to walk away.
Yes, sir. I can honestly admit that it's a big, fear is a big thing for me. It's definitely fear plays a big part on me not leaving. I felt like I didn't want to let my family down, my children down. I was always big on having the same kid father, or just being under the same roof and doing that. So it's like sometimes it's more disappointment, and it's like with the moving forward, it's like sometimes I feel like that person has stripped me away from my trust. Like, not even with, I can't say all men are the same, because I damn sure sorry, I never dated a lot of men to even say all men or anything, but I can honestly say it makes you wonder, like, if he could have got away with this right under my nose, like, what would the next man do? And then I'd be afraid to honestly bleed on the next man who never did anything to cause any scars because of this long-term relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have 3 kids. We've been together for 3 years, but it was a 6-year friendship, you know? So I felt like I probably, like you just, it's probably more of, now that just hearing you out coming from a man perspective, because I know us women, we try to understand, we do, but coming from a man perspective, I feel like it's a sense of guilt. It's a sense of like fear, and it's like denial, denial. Like, I feel like if I did everything that I was supposed to do, at least I thought I was supposed to do, with him, I feel like, and he still stepped out
Mm-hmm.
and did what he did. I feel like sometimes like the fear of, what if I do the same thing to another man? And I'm giving my all. I'm giving only who I know. I'm Destiny. I'm just giving who I know I can be. And I'm giving it to you, and you still find every reason to go out and cheat instead of being a man and telling me if I'm not cooking right, if I'm not doing it right, if I'm not, cleaning right, if I'm not supporting you right, it's like I can honestly say, just hearing you out, it's a sense of denial. It's like I'm afraid to do the same thing again and dedicate that many years to someone who could possibly do the same thing. Because like I know I'm reading the comments, it's like it's like it's big. It's really big when you really love somebody and you really like love somebody. Like when you've been through things, abusive relationships, and then you get in this relationship and it's non-abusive at all, but then it's cheating. It's like I feel like in my heart, like it's gonna always be something. And what if I'm afraid to get that abusive side again? Like it sound a little naive. Like I don't want to go through the abusive anymore. It's hard starting over, yes, and it's hard even thinking that the next man is not capable of doing the same thing to you. But it's like in our mind, I'm human. I can only be honest. Like in my mind, I'm like, hold on, wait, that man might put me through the worst. Like maybe I might get ran up on by another woman, or I might get abused in another abusive relationship. It's like it'd be like, can I tolerate this or can I not? Like it seemed like we battle with ourselves a lot of times. It's not that we don't know our worth. It's not that we don't love ourselves and respect ourselves. Sometimes, honestly, it's really we don't know. I didn't come from a place of marriage in my family. I didn't grow up on the same household, and I was trying to break a generational curse, and I feel like he forced me to not trust him. He forced me not to love the same. He forced me, because it's not something I was willing to do. I didn't want to, be in this place where I'm unhappy and I'm seeing you every day. I'm waking up to you. We doing all these good things, but inside it's like he could be laying right next to me and I still feel alone, because deep down inside, him cheating made me feel like I wasn't good enough. Like I just wasn't good enough. I'm just not the person that you ideally want.
The only disappointment that can come from your actions is if you continue to allow yourself to be in this state where you're not happy, where you feel depressed, when you feel alone, and you can't be everything that you can be for yourself and your kids.
Yes, sir.
And if you can't be that in the environment in which you're in right now, then you have to remove yourself from that environment. Because your expectations for life comes from what you expose yourself to. And if you expose yourself to a dysfunctional household, if you expose yourself to a man that continuously disrespects you, then you'll have the expectation that you will never find anything outside of that. But when you remove yourself from that environment and you expose yourself to other things, you will have a different outlook on life. So I'm not a champion of breaking up homes, but I'm not a champion of leaving yourself in a situation that's never going to change. So if you remove yourself, you can tell you've been through a lot. Do therapy or something to work through those issues so that you don't bleed on another man. Do therapy so that you can find out what attracted you to this type of man, so that you don't get into another relationship with that type of man. And then set boundaries of how long you will stay with somebody or try to build a relationship. It may not be 6 years you do it again, because now you're smarter, you're wiser, you know what to look for. You know what a man shouldn't exhibit. So you shouldn't waste that same amount of time. This was a learning curve. It was painful, but you learned. You grew. So take those lessons into bettering yourself, and then you will attract what you become. Because I can already tell you're a good woman. I can hear the way you talk. I can hear the way that you want to love a man. I can hear it. But you got to see the potential in yourself the same way you see potential in him.
Yes,
because
sir.
you don't, I can tell when you look in the mirror, you don't feel that same way about yourself. You think it's something that you did wrong. And there may be things that you had shortcomings in your relationship,
Yes,
right? Like we have to take ownership that there may be things I didn't do right.
yes, sir.
But you're not the cause for somebody stepping outside of your relationship. That's them. They need to learn how to communicate and say what is doing wrong in the relationship and work to fix it.
And if you have to remove yourself from that situation with all the goals that and standards that you had set for wanting to have this life and this family with him, that's not a disappointment either. Like, he dropped the ball and he caused the disappointment, and you've done everything that you could to try to build that back up. But if he's not showing you that he's trying to change, even if it's within this year, if he's not doing enough where you know that he's changed, like, not, oh, I think, but I'm not sure, you will know. And if he hasn't provided you with that, then you have to do what you need to do for you. And like Devin said, I feel like it's a matter of you going on your healing process, your healing journey. Because like you said, you've been in an abusive relationship. Like, we have to release the trauma and the baggage that we may not even realize we carried from one situation to the next. And so that's just adding more into your situation from what he's doing. Like you said, you go into the next and you bleed on the next person because you haven't went through your healing process. And so you have to remove yourself to have that process for yourself. But I think in doing that, just know that it's not a disappointment, because your children are going to look at you and be like, my mom did what she needed to do, so that she's in the best mental state for us, that she's happy for us. Because at the end of the day, your happiness and their happiness that's all that matters.
It's interconnected.
Yes.
It's interconnected.
Yes.
If they see mommy down, they're going to be down.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing how a relationship should be. Like, that's what trust is all about. It's not like you got to sacrifice everything about you in order to be the partner you need to be. But when you have true love, your happiness is interconnected with your partner's happiness. When you see them that they're sad, it makes you sad. When they're happy, you're excited. So they don't have to force you to change your behavior. You're going to change your behavior on your own because you don't want your partner to be hurt. Mm-hmm. Because you know that y'all are interconnected. So if he's not at that place where you feel like you have to push him to change, because you can't make anybody change. That's how you get resentment. But if he's in tune with you in a way where his happiness is attached to your happiness, he will change because he wants to be happy. But if he's not doing that right now, it's okay to separate. Maybe dating somebody else will show you if it's really meant to be. But only after you do the work to heal yourself.
Myself.
Right. But don't spend all your time trying to make him change. A man won't change because you made him. He'll change because he knows the person he used to be no longer serves who he wants to be.
Or any good. Yes, sir.
And he's not at that place. And I'm not going to judge him because every man finds that at a certain point in his life, but he's not there yet. And he shouldn't make you put your life on hold while he figures this out.
That spoke volumes.
So we hope that this live helped you tonight. But man, like I said, I can hear it in your voice. I can hear your heart. You have a good heart.
I was looking for a way
that.
out. I was looking for a way, and I think you guys just gave me.
Yes.
It sounds crazy, but I think you guys just gave me the way out because I struggled. I really struggled. I hate disappointing people. I hate being the one who had to end things, or I hate being the barrier of bad endings or bad news. I always try to be that person that's like the glue, and it's like I'm not a robot. I can only do so much, and the strong gets tired too. It's like, if I never stepped out on you, how many times are you going to continue to do it to me before you see that I'm not that type of person, and your actions does not determine who I am as a woman? Like, y'all just spoke so many volumes. He'll get off of work at 10, y'all.
Well, it was nice talking to you tonight.
You have a good night.
Yeah, you have a good night.
You too. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Bye.
I'm searching for